Hey everyone, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com helping you create something awesome today. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to insert images into a web page using HTML code. We're going to be doing this in Adobe Dreamweaver today just for demonstration purposes, but you can do this in any text editor. You don't need to use Adobe Dreamweaver. You don't need to use WYSIWYG. We're going to show you how to do all of this just using coding, and we're going to make it less intimidating for you. It's not going to be something complicated. It's not going to be something overly wordy or overly nerdy so that anybody can follow along with this. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So you can see that I have two images here from my RobertoBlake.com website. And this is the anatomy of the code that allows me to put those images into a web page. Now, this might look like gobbledygook to most of you, but I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you how I did this by hand. There are two different types of images that I have here. The first one at the top is an image, but it's also wrapped around a hyperlink. And what that means is that if we clicked on this, it would go to the full-size version of this image. I'm also scaling this image down specifically so that it's smaller on the web page. If I take this without, it will go back to its original size, and that's what we're linking to. So that's why I have this scaled down to 300 so that it could fit the way I want it to on the page. So that's 300 pixels. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I did this completely from scratch. So what I'm going to do is I need this URL. I need this because this is where the image is on the web. So we're going to take that and I'm just going to delete the rest of this so that we're starting from scratch. So this is a basic web page. I'm going to type in what the code is to create an image on the web. And what that's going to be is MIG, which stands for image, and SRC, which stands for source. So you can see that we're kind of getting rid of the vowels here, and that's something that's pretty common in coding language. So we're going to do an equal sign, and that's going to be where we're going to put the URL for where our image is located, which in this case is RobertoBlake.com. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to close this image out with this end bracket tag, and we're done. Now you can see that the image is being pulled from the RobertoBlake.com website. That's pretty straightforward, right? But now I want to control how it's being displayed. So I'm going to type in width, and what that's going to do is I can go ahead and decide the width. And in this case, I'm going to decide that's 330 pixels and hit refresh, and you can see that goes down like that. Or if I want, I can make it 300. It really doesn't matter, and the height is going to scale proportionately. So I don't even have to type in the height and worry about distorting the image. Now, for SEO purposes, I could write an alt tag and a title tag, and that will, describe what the image is for anybody who's interested in that. And there you go. So if somebody were to hover over this online, they would see this word image and it would tell them that's an image. For SEO purposes, which I would get into later, it's probably better if it says something like Roberto Blake Graphic Designer or Energetic by Roberto Blake or something like that. But that's a whole different thing that we'll get into at a later point in something more advanced. This is just basics. So what if I want this to go to that image? Well, I can just copy this URL right here, and like we did in the previous tutorial on doing a hyperlink, we type in ahref equals, and then we type in the location. In this case, it's the same URL as the image, and then we close that at the end of the image tag, and that will be a hyperlink that when clicked on will go to this image on RobertoBlake.com in full size. So that's how we would do that. Now, if we wanted this image just to go to RobertoBlake.com as kind of like a thumbnail or something, we could just make it go to RobertoBlake.com, and that's fine. If we wanted it to open in a new tab, we could always do target equals new or blank, and either one of those is fine, and that's what will happen. So that's how you would wrap a hyperlink around an image, and now that image is clickable and will go to the full-size version of that image. And again, here we can control how the image displays. We can make it whatever size we want in terms of width, and the height will scale proportionately. So that's how we would do it. Now we can do the same thing with height. We could go ahead and tell it that we want the height to be 500, and it will scale the width proportionately. So you can do either one of those just depending on your needs. And, that's how we would do it. So now you understand the basics of how to create an image using HTML code, and you could do this with Adobe Dreamweaver, you could do this with Notepad++, you could do this with any text editor that allows for code. You could use Adobe Brackets, you can use any tool you want. Again, my preference is Adobe Dreamweaver because I have a lot of cool options here. I have things like the fact that I can use this image demo snippet and I could get back the code that I had earlier. And, again, that's pretty convenient, in my opinion, to be able to just have the ability to do little things like that. So I could just delete all of this, double click on this, and then I get back the code I had earlier, and that's cool. So it could save me time if I use Adobe Dreamweaver to do certain things. Even if I know how to code by hand, it's fine to be efficient sometimes and have the ability to do that, pull up assets, look at your CSS menu, do different things. So just keep that in mind before you go bashing people who use Adobe Dreamweaver. It may be that they have a specific reason or that they have so much work piled up that anything that can make them even a little bit faster is what they need to be doing. Anyway, if you have questions about how to go ahead and create images using HTML code, leave those in the comment section. I'll try and answer as many of them as I can. If there are other tutorials you want to see on either Adobe Dreamweaver or how to do HTML coding, leave those recommendations in the comments and I will try and make tutorial videos to help you out with that. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.